What's up guys, this is Jesse Endor and welcome back to another Frostpunk video. Today we'll be explaining the most sought after question within the Frostpunk universe. What caused the deep freeze? The deep freeze, the thing that is responsible for creating the Frostland itself and all the elements that led up to the end of civilization. The deep freeze itself was caused by volcanic activity. A sequence of 4 eruptions took place between the year, as I might say, 4 to 6 eruptions took place between the year 1250 to 1870. These eruptions released large amounts of tiny sulfate particles into the atmosphere. These particles were capable of reflecting just enough sunlight to allow the globe to cool between 1 to 4 degrees Celsius. During that time as well, we had a situation taking place called the Little Ice Age, which started roughly in the year 1300, way into the late 1400s, and to an extent continued on into the year 1870. All of these elements combined together eventually led to the creation of the snowstorm in the year 1804. In the year 1804, Europe and Northern America experienced the first snow hurricane itself, which was a sign of things to come. So, the elements that kind of hinted at what was to come for the future, excluding from our timeline, was the Little Ice Age, the sequence of volcanic eruptions, and to an extent, the snow hurricane that was documented in the year 1804. Once information was reached by the various civilizations that the Frostland would eventually be taking over, Arctic expeditions were set up and individuals headed north to try and figure out what was the root cause of the deep freeze. Other things to mention about the deep freeze. Due to volcanic activity and the release of small sulfate particles into the atmosphere, glaciers were able to form more in the summer, and these glaciers also allowed the release of large amounts of ice into the oceans. These increases of ice into the oceans also cooled the ocean itself, and so the effect of global cooling was sustained long enough for the ice sheets to continuously expand. Sea ice is also capable of reflecting sunlight. So in addition to the volcanic activity reflecting solar radiation, we also had the sea ice causing the reflection of solar radiation, which also enhanced and allowed the deep freeze or the cooling effect that would eventually lead to a runaway global effect to continue. Small changes in the global temperature can have drastic effects that will last for centuries, and so this is an example of how the deep freeze took over the entire globe and led to the creation of the Frostland that we know. Based on the last autumn, it is understood that the Frostland was created rapidly over a sequence of period of time, and it was also instigated by the creation of snowstorms or snow hurricanes, which would deposit large amounts of snow onto varied regions, covering them fully with ice and wiping out any form of life that existed. However, Arctic animals are still capable of surviving in these horrific conditions. And this is what we know. I'll see you in the next one.